I'm taking you through 6 popular dishes and showing you how to recreate them to shave off hundreds of calories, yet they're going to contain more food and be more filling. No weird substitutes, no pretending cauliflower is bread. If it's a burger, it stays a burger. You get the idea. Because a big mistake we make, cutting calories blindly. You create a void, and your brain hates voids. So when we cut calories, we have to replace them with something. Based on hundreds, yes hundreds, of studies I dig through regularly as part of my job, the 3 biggest players in the satiety game, the ones that fill the calorie void without leaving you hungry, are your diet's weight, protein, and fiber. Now, if you want the sciencey deep dive into how they work, I've got videos for that. But this one's about the how. We're gonna go through a 6-meal menu, including breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For each, I'm gonna show you the usual version that most people make, and then walk you through the simple swaps that turn those meals into tools that help you lose weight instead of working against you. And if you wanna make these meals yourself, I've put together a spreadsheet with every single upgraded version, ingredients, brands, exact amounts, so you can easily recreate them at home. So, let's begin. We're starting off breakfast strong with a classic, an egg and cheese English muffin. Tasty, comforting, and honestly, an easy opportunity for major upgrades without changing the soul of the dish. That's important. Here's the satiety framework I use. If a meal hits these 4 targets, it's way more likely to actually keep you full and on track for the day. Let's start with our first move. We swapped the regular English muffin for a carb smart English muffin. Same vibe, but now we've slashed calories and added fiber. How? They're made with resistant starch, which is basically a type of fiber your body can't digest. So it walk, talks, and toasts like bread, but skips most of the calories. Next upgrade, cheese. We're not gonna go low fat, we're gonna go thin cut. Here's why this matters. The cheese is still full fat, so that flavor, totally intact. And unless you're eating these side by side with a thick slice, your mouth's not going to notice. What your brain will notice is if you omit the cheese altogether. Those bites just taste like sadness. Now for the egg. We're keeping 2 whole eggs, but swapping the 3rd for egg whites. I want to be clear with you. Eggs are a health food. This is not about demonizing yolks, they're little nutrient golden nuggets. But it's okay to take something that's already good for us and make it great for us because we're tweaking it towards our health goals. This swap keeps all the flavor and nutrients from the yolks while adding in extra protein and volume from the whites. And no, it doesn't taste eggy white because we're being very reasonable with the amount we're swapping. Pro tip, if you want a nice round egg shape, grab a set of these little egg molds online. Totally optional, but they're very fun. I usually use these to make a big batch of these eggs and freeze or refrigerate them for the entire week. Each morning I just microwave or air fry one for a fast, fresh breakfast sandwich. Now look at the plate on the left. It's still a little empty, right? Your stomach wants to be stretched, and when it's stretched, it sends signals to your brain that release hormones that make you feel full. So we need to add weight, not calorie weight, physical weight. That's what stretches your stomach and flips the fullness switch. That's why I always add fruit or vegetables. In this case, a cup of strawberries. Do not skip fruit because you're watching your calories. We already created calorie space with the other swaps. Now we're investing just a few calories back in a smart way. Look at these plates side by side. Same sandwich, but the upgraded version is 100 calories lighter, has more food, and those calories are way more filling. This is what smart eating looks like. You didn't lose the soul of the meal, you just made it work for you instead of against you. Now let's talk about a simpler breakfast. Bagels and cream cheese. Kinda weak in the hunger department. You're full for like an hour. And I'll agree, the number of calories is very reasonable for a meal. But they do a terrible job of actually filling you up and keeping you full. By lunch, you're ravenous. Low calorie doesn't help you with weight loss if it just leaves you starving an hour later. So, for this meal, we're keeping the number of the calories the same, but we're ensuring that those calories are much more filling. First up, we're swapping in another Carb Smart product. This time it's a bagel with the same chewy toasty texture, but way more fiber and way fewer digestible calories. And no, I don't get a kickback for promoting Carb Smart. Got like 40 something subscribers at this point. But hey, if you like what you're seeing and you want me to keep going, hit the like and subscribe and drop me a comment with any meals you want me to revamp in future videos because I want to showcase examples that you actually care about. Alright, back to the video. Next up, we need to fortify this meal with some protein. You can either use a flavored Greek yogurt or some deli meat, whatever you're feeling. Protein is the most filling macronutrient. That's why 100 calories of it beats carbs or fat when it comes to satiety. It's also metabolized at a higher rate. Next, we're swapping out the full fat cream cheese for this fat-free version. Nope, we're not doing that one. Sure, there's low-fat versions out there, but for me, that's a no-go. The key is making swaps without sacrificing taste or feeling like you're eating cardboard. Finally, because we've created some calorie space, let's add in a serving of fruit. That's going to bulk up the meal and make it heavier. The plate on the right, it's nearly 3 times heavier than the one on the left. That's 3 times more of a stretch for your stomach. We didn't really reduce the calories because those were fine. We just upgraded the calories to be much more filling. Now let's move on to lunch with a classic grilled cheese. I've got 2 versions here, both golden and delicious. Let's take a closer look at the one on the left, a whopping 800 calories, and it only weighs half a pound. You see, humans typically eat at least 3 pounds of food each day, no matter how high the calories get. And if you only ate these grilled cheese sandwiches for the day, you likely end up eating 4,800 calories before you hit that 3-pound threshold. So we want to make swaps to reduce calories and make it heavier, while also fixing the protein and the fiber. First up, we're swapping the bread for a low-calorie, high-fiber white bread. Notice a theme here. Next, we're switching out those thick-cut cheese slices for thinner versions. But hold up, in this case, thin slices alone will probably leave you with a sad cheese to bread ratio. But notice that we still need some protein. So we're adding in lean ham or turkey to the mix. These meats not only give you a great protein boost, but they also help you not notice the reduction in cheese. Cheese and protein both provide that savory umami flavor. So even though we lose some savory umami flavor by cutting out the cheese, we bring it right back in with the addition of the meat. Now, let's talk butter. Try swapping regular butter for yogurt butter. It's got half the calories and still gives you that crispy golden outside you love. Finally, let's add a generous serving of veggies to bulk up the meal and boost nutrients. I went with broccoli, but hey, whatever veggies you like. The new version of the sandwich is almost 250 calories lighter, but it hits all of our filling criteria, and it's still a cheesy golden grilled cheese sandwich. The lunch alternative is something simpler, a classic PB&J. This one caught me by surprise because I always thought a simple PB&J as a low-calorie snack. But after making it, I realized just 2 basic PB&J sandwiches on whole wheat bread ended up being 600 calories with very little to fill you up. And it's not like I went crazy with the fixins. So let's make some swaps. First, let's tackle the bread. I intentionally chose some swaps that apply to most of the meals. Prioritize finding swaps that upgrade multiple meals in your life because it keeps things easier. Next up, jelly. The regular jelly in this is about 150 calories, but you can easily find an artificially sweetened version. Now I know people have strong opinions about artificial sweeteners. If you hate the taste, that's valid. But otherwise, replacing foods that have obscenely high concentrations of sugar, like this jelly, with artificial versions have been repeatedly shown to help with weight loss. Now, onto the peanut butter. Here's the thing. We're not touching the peanut butter. Because again, for me, that's the best part. I'm making swaps in other parts of the meal so I don't have to compromise on the components I love the most. Look at how much we've already cut the calories. But we're still missing some protein. 3 solid options to round this one out is yogurt, sliced deli meat, or a classic glass of milk. My top pick for milk is fat-free Fairlife milk. I don't know what they did, but it is so creamy and delicious with an amazing macronutrient profile. Plus, it's dairy-free if you're lactose intolerant. Now, that is a weight loss PB&J. All right, let's dive into a heavy hitter and start with dinner. The classic burger and fries, which might fit into your daily budget, but I'm going to show you how to cut that down to under 400 calories. And no, we're not making a bean patty or anything like that. First up, let's swap out the standard with a Carb Smart bun. Same principle, new meal, still effective, let's move on. Next up, let's talk about the patty. We're still keeping the beef, but we're using a leaner cut, specifically 96% lean beef. This 4-ounce patty made with 80% lean beef packs almost 300 calories. But this one made from 96% lean beef is only 140. So you're getting a big juicy patty, but just half the calories. And here's a quick pro tip to keep it tender. Use baking soda. Lean beef can get dry because of the lower fat content. The proteins as they cook tighten together and push out moisture. But 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda per pound of meat helps keep the proteins from squeezing out the moisture during cooking, giving you a juicier burger. Next up, fries. Instead of using the frozen fries soaked in oil, let's just make our own. Grab yourself some regular potatoes, slice them into Kringle cuts. Super fun if you use a slicer like this. A couple light sprays with a little oil is all you need. Pop them in the air fryer and bake them like you would the regular fries. Now, 2 quick ones we've already done. Swap out the thick slice cut of cheese with the thin slice and add in a cup of your favorite vegetables. Going with broccoli again. That is a weight loss friendly burger. That is a weight loss friendly meal. You can eat that every day, every week, and you can maintain a healthy weight. If we're talking dinner, the next one's gotta be pasta. And nothing screams comfort food like chicken Alfredo. But the quick weeknight version, just boiling noodles and pouring on store-bought sauce, can run you close to 700 calories and still leave you hungry. But we're not fixing this with a cashew cream or cauliflower puree or something complicated. We're doing 3 simple swaps, 3 simple ingredients. First up, noodles. We're going with this brand, Fiber Gourmet. It still blows my mind. Taste-wise, it's identical to real pasta, but calorie-wise, it's half, and it's because they're packed with fiber. Seriously, there's no trade-off. They taste the same. Now let's talk sauce. There can be a lot of variation in canned sauces at the store, so you just gotta look a little bit. I'm using a lower calorie version because I can actually add in more sauce than if I use a higher calorie version. Now we need some protein. I'm using a half cup of diced chicken. It's quick, lean, and gets the job done. But if you're a vegetarian or you just don't feel like cooking or touching meat, try these meatless pieces. They're soft, soak up flavor like a sponge, and heat on the stove in 5 to 10 minutes. Put it all together and you've got a chicken Alfredo that's just as easy, but way more filling with fewer calories, more volume, more protein, and more fiber. You can even batch this for the week. So let's zoom out and look at the big picture. What happens when you stack these smart swaps across your entire day? If you ate the original versions of a few of these, the classic egg and cheese sandwich, PB&J, grilled cheese, and the burger, you'd be clocking in around 2,700 calories, eating just 2 pounds of food, barely getting any fiber, and falling short on protein. But if you use the swapped versions, you're eating the same meals, but it's only 1,850 calories, and it's 3 pounds of food, and you're getting more protein and a huge boost in fiber. It's the same dish, way more food, way better nutrition. This is how you lose weight without feeling like you're dieting. This is how you maintain your weight loss without feeling like you're dieting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.